Wow. Okay. As regarding my growth story with the supernatural, like you may say, there are certain gifts active, which personally, like I would always tell my people, I had to consciously calm down around because I would not want to build the foundation of our ministry on that. Nevertheless, I'm going to share one story that really opened me up to the supernatural. Okay, this was on campus. For some of you who are in Abia State University, shout out to you. But this was actually one of my first times encountering demonic spirits. In one of my seasons, in fact, I lived almost all through my campus days. I lived a prayer season and a fasting life. That's what some people call it. So, at every time in the night, I would always go by one to pray at the car park. If you know this car park called Environmental Car Park in Asu, put it in the comment section. In fact, up till now, I can bet that people have sent me messages that when they pass that place, and I mean, this is the years after I've graduated, there's an anointing, they just feel an awesome presence to pray. So this was one of my first time because I did architecture, so it was directly behind my my department. And so I went out to pray, and then something happened. There happened to be this sculpture garden where they have these sculptures, sculpts they had done and kept there. And so I came out to pray. While I was praying, all of a sudden I saw, humbly speaking, real truth. I saw this molded stuff receive life and started moving. I kid you not. And the funny thing was that I tried moving out of fear or running through, and my foot was stuck to the ground, literally. I had to pick my phone. If those who are called then would still remember, I remember calling the man of God who handed over to me as NIFES Fellowship President then on campus, Pastor Ndubisi Okoresi. He's in the UK right now. Shout out to him. I remember calling him. I remember calling also a few others. I think Dr. Samuel Dukupa, if you could remember, is also in the UK right now. And I called them to join me to pray. It was at that point when they prayed for me that I received strength to get out of that experience and leave the place. And so when I saw that, I discovered that everything had the ability to receive life under certain conditions. Everything hears God's voice. Now, but these ones were not triggered by the voice of God. They were effects of a trigger in the spirit that there was an entity that was in charge of that territory. After seeing that, now you would not believe I decided I was not going to go out again to pray, but the Lord would not let me have my peace. He made me have that commitment with God every 1 a.m. to go out to pray, no matter sometimes under the rain, all through till the end of my stay in Abia State University. I remember one of the times I was going to leave, the Lord would have me climb the mountain. I remember then we had gathered and raised the team of prayer warriors there on campus, and then the Lord would have me end my season of prayer there. One more. I remember taking a few of my proteges to go to pray at the Bush House. There's a place called Bush House where people pray. If you know Bush House too, fine. So when we got there was a place I would always pray. And funnily enough, one of my proteges looks at a tree and sees a snake, literally. And guess what? I raised my head and see the snake literally. As we raised our head, guess what happened? The snake disappeared. Now, for many of you who had your Christian faith experience in places where there were no activation of spiritual, matters, you may just think that this matter of spiritual power is a joke, but it's not. Right before my face, I had seen people shot and the bullet will not enter. Literally. So there are many of you who grew up in places where the supernatural was not active, and there most times the tendency is to doubt spiritual realities is there. But let me tell you the truth, they are there. And in consecutive questionings as we go through, I'm going to be sharing much more encounters that will spoil your faith. Listen to me. You must understand that this physical realm is a subset of the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is more real. You may think that this realm is real, but I tell you the truth, is more real. Now, for me, basically, when I want to begin to train people to sharpen or activate their spiritual senses, the first basic tool I will always start with is their dream. a dream. It's true, God does not speak to you primarily through your dream, but what God does is that He latches on every little connecting point from your physical state to the spiritual state. And I can tell you, sleep is one important state you don't joke with. God bless you. Next question.